can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. I'm forgiveness teacher from the Ozarks, Willie, and we're ready for lesson 289 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students here on Monday, October the 16th of 2023. We're reading from the original edition in A Course in Miracles. The past is over, it can touch me not. Unless the past is over in my mind, the real world must escape my sight. For I am really looking nowhere, seeing but what is not there. How can I then perceive the world forgiveness offers? This the past was made to hide, for this the world that can be looked on only now. This the past was made to hide, for this the world that can be looked on only now. It has no past, for what can be forgiven but the past? For what can be forgiven but the past? But the past, for what can be forgiven but the past, and if it is forgiven, it is gone. For what can be forgiven but the past, and if it is forgiven, it is gone. The past is over, it can touch me not. And the prayer says, Father, let me not look upon a past that is not there. For you have offered me your own replacement in a present world the past has left untouched and free of sin. Here is the end of guilt, and here am I made ready for your final step. Shall I demand that you wait longer for your son to find the loveliness you planned to be the end of all his dreams and all his pain? The past is over, it can touch me not. And our associated reading for today's lesson is, what is the Holy Spirit? The Holy Spirit mediates between illusions and the truth. As he must bridge the gap between reality and dreams, perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him, to be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth. Across the bridge that he provides, our dreams all carry to the truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There our sights and sounds forever laid aside, and where they were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perception's tranquil end. The goal the Holy Spirit's teaching sets is just this end of dreams, for sights and sounds must be translated from the witnesses of fear to those of love. And when this is entirely accomplished, learning has achieved the only goal it has in truth. For learning as the Holy Spirit guides it to the outcome he perceives for it, becomes the means to go beyond itself, to be replaced by the eternal truth. If you but knew how much your Father yearns to have you recognize your sinlessness, you would not let his voice appeal in vain, nor turn away from his replacement for the fearful images and dreams you made. The Holy Spirit understands the means you made, by which you would attain what is forever unattainable. And if you offer them to him, he will employ the means you made for exile to restore your mind to where it truly is at home. From knowledge where he has been placed by God, the Holy Spirit calls you to let forgiveness rest upon your dreams and be restored to sanity and peace of mind. Without forgiveness will your dreams remain to terrify you, and the memory of all your Father's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come. Again on those two sentences, without forgiveness will your dreams remain to terrify you, and the memory of all your Father's love will not return to signify the end of dreams has come. Accept your Father's gift. It is a call from love to love, that it be but itself. The Holy Spirit is His gift by which the quietness of heaven is restored to God's beloved Son. Would you refuse to take the function of completing God when all He wills is that you be complete? The past is over. It can touch me not. And our reading will go along real well with the recognition today that the only reality is God's will, and that we can accept that and live in it, and that there is no other will than God's will, which is our will, our true will, our Christ will. Freedom of will. And in the new beginning, we're chapter 30, the new beginning, and we're ready for lesson or text reading 3, starting in paragraph 33, and it's freedom of will. And while you're turning there, if you'd like to follow along, which I'd encourage you to do so if you can, if you're not driving. What on earth is going on today? Well, it's Department Store Day, Dictionary Day, and National Dictionary Day, and National Learn a Word Day, Global Cat Day, and National Feral Cat Day. So I thought, well, let's learn a word. Let's learn what the genus and species of the common house cat. It's a Felis sylvestris catus. I'm not exactly sure why there's 3 words. The genus is Felis, sylvestris, and catus must be another category of a subspecies, I suppose. But that's your domesticated cat. The closest wild species is same genus, Felis sylvestris, same species, but it's a Libica, and it's an African wildcat. So there's a new word for the day, the Felis. Okay, the genus of our cats, our mice catchers, as I like to think of them. International Adjust Your Chair Day, Multicultural Diversity Day, honoring the differences in us all, but we're all one at the deepest level, that's what we want to see in each other, is our oneness. Namaste. I see the Christ in you and honor it. National Boss Day, National Clean Your Virtual Desktop Day, National Cut Up Your Credit Card Day, National Liquor Day, Steve Jobs Day, and we thank Steve Jobs for combining the phone and the computer, or smartphones, like what I'm recording this on. Thank you, Steve Jobs. He was born in 1955 and died in 2011. World Anesthesia Day, World Food Day, and World Spine Day. Learn about your spine. Learn about how to. Let's be praying that everyone has some food to eat. And yesterday I should have told you was the beginning of the Hindu festival Navaratri, which will last until the 24th. And today, birthday of the Bab, a Baha'i, here on the 16th. Okay, and I want to tell you about another mushroom. So I said we're going to talk about a few mushrooms out of the Fungi Perfecti. And this is the Reishi mushroom, mushroom of immortality. It's the Ganoderma lucidum. And out of Fungi Perfecti, here's what it says of the Ganoderma lucidum. Fruiting temperature 70 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, known in Japan as Reishi and in China as Ling Chi. This species quickly colonizes hardwood stumps, producing a cank-like mushroom similar to the famed artist cank, but with a smooth, polished surface, deep reddish-brown in color on top, and with a white pored underlayer. Both logs and stumps can be used for cultivation, heralded in Asian cultures for centuries for its health-supporting properties. This mushroom imparts a subdued, non-narcotic, peaceful feeling to many who ingest it. And, the word Reishi in Sanskrit, at least the same same pronunciation, maybe a little different spelling. I'm not exactly sure if the roots are the same, but I expect they are, because in the Sanskrit, the word Reishi refers to the great teachers who have come to teach us. So maybe the Reishi Mushroom is a great teacher to come to help us. I found this on Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, mskcc.org. Talks about the Reishi. It says, boosts the immune system, increase strength and stamina, lowers cholesterol, treats urinary tract symptoms such as having to pee at night, weak urine flow, peeing more times than usual, and not being able to control urine flow in males. So sounds like it'd be pretty useful for urinary tract infections and whatnot. But anyway, increase the strength and stamina, and could deliver you a nice peaceful feeling too, without being a narcotic. So that might be a useful thing to consider. Okay, and that's your Reishi mushroom. What did I say the species? It's a Granoderma lucidum. Okay, and let's take with us the past is over, it can touch me not, as we read Freedom of Will, paragraph 33. Do you not understand that to oppose the Holy Spirit is to fight yourself? He tells you but your will. He speaks for you. In his divinity is but your own, and all he knows is but your knowledge, saved for you that you may do your will through him. God asks you do your will. God asks you do your will. He joins with you. He did not set his kingdom up alone, and heaven itself but represents your will, where everything created is for you. No spark of life but was created with your glad consent, as you would have it be. No spark of life but was created with your No spark of life but was created with your glad consent, as you would have it be, and not one thought that God has ever had but waited for your blessing to be born. God is no enemy to you. He asks no more than that he hear you call him friend. And not one thought that God has ever had but waited your blessing to be born. God is no enemy to you. He asks no more than that he hear you call him friend. 34. How wonderful it is to do your will, for that is freedom. There is nothing else that ever should be called by freedom's name other than doing your own will. How wonderful it is to do your will, for that is freedom. There is nothing else that ever should be called by freedom's name. Unless you do your will, you are not free. And would God leave his Son without what he has chosen for himself? God but ensured that you would never lose your will when he gave you his perfect answer. Hear it now that you may be reminded of his love and learn your will. God would not have his Son made prisoner to what he does not want. He joins with you in willing you to be free, and to oppose him is to make a choice against yourself and choose that you be bound. 35. Look once again upon your enemy, for the one you chose to hate instead of love. For thus was hatred born into the world, and thus the rule of fear established there. Now hear God speak to you through him who is his voice and yours as well, reminding you that it is not your will to hate. God reminding you that it is not your will to hate, and be a prisoner to fear, a slave to death, a little creature with a little life. Your will is boundless. It is not your will that it be bound. So hate is binding us. That's why we want to practice forgiveness and see everyone as our brother. Feel love for everyone. The ones that you have trouble with, that's your sadhana. That's your working out your salvation with fear and trembling. Do your work. It's the only thing that'll make you happy anyway, is converting hates to fears, or converting hates and fears to a present love. Now hear God speak to you through him who is his voice, and yours as well, reminding you that it is not your will to hate and be a prisoner to fear, a slave to death, a little creature with a little life. Your will is boundless. It is not your will that it be bound. What lies in you has joined with God himself in all creation's birth. Remember, he who has created you and through your will created everything. Not one created thing but gives you thanks. For it is by your will that it was born. No light of heaven shines except for you. For it was said in heaven by your will. 36. What cause have you for anger in a world which merely waits your blessing to be free? If you be prisoner, then God himself could not be free. For what is done to him whom God so loves is done to God himself. Think not he wills to bind you, who has made you co-creator of the universe along with him. He would but keep your will forever and forever limitless. 37, last paragraph of this section. We may read a little bit more out of Beyond All Idols. This world awaits the freedom you will give when you have recognized that you are free. But you will not forgive the world until you have forgiven him. This world awaits the freedom you will give when you have recognized that you are free. But you will not forgive the world until you have forgiven him who gave your will to you. For it is by your will the world is given freedom. Nor can you be free apart from him whose holy will you share. God turns to you to ask the world be saved. For by your own salvation it is healed. And no one walks upon the earth but must depend on your decision that he learned death has no power over him because he shares your freedom as he shares your will. It is your will to heal him, and because you have decided with him, he is healed. And now is God forgiven, for you chose to look upon your brother as a friend. Wow, we know that we've forgiven God when we can look on our brother as our friend. You know, we learned that just the other day. Was that yesterday? Where Jesus said, let's see, Father, where did we read that? Let me see if I can find it real quick in our lesson yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before. Yesterday. Let me forget my brother's past today, which is today's a continuation. The past is over. It can touch me not. And Jesus said, forgive me then today, and you will know you have forgiven me if you behold your brother in the light of holiness. He cannot be less holy than can I, and you cannot be holier than he. And I said I wanted to read just a little bit. I think we have a little time. Beyond All Idols. Let's read 2 or 3 paragraphs anyway of this next section. Paragraph 38. Idols are quite specific, but your will is universal, being limitless. And so it has no form, nor is content for its expression in the terms of form. Idols are limits. They are the belief that there are forms which will bring happiness, and that by limiting is all attained. It is as if you said, I have no need of everything. This little thing I want, and it will be as if everything to me. This little thing I want, and it will be as everything to me. And this must fail to satisfy, because it is your will that everything be yours. Decide for idols, and you ask for loss. Decide for truth, and everything is yours. 39. It is not form you seek. What form can be a substitute for God the Father's love? What form can take the place of all the love in the divinity of God the Son? What idol can make two of what is one? And can the limitless be limited? You do not want an idol. It is not your will to have one. It will not bestow on you the gift you seek. When you decide upon the form of what you want, you lose the understanding of its purpose. When you decide upon the form of what you want, you lose the understanding of its purpose. Wow, let's not lose the understanding. So you see your will within the idol, thus reducing it to specific form. Yet this could never be your will, because what shares in all creation cannot be content with small ideas and little things. 40. Behind the search for every idol lies the yearning for completion. Wholeness has no form because it is unlimited. To seek a special person or a thing to add to you to make yourself complete can only mean that you believe some form is missing. And by finding this, you will achieve completion in a form you like. This is the purpose of an idol, that you will not look beyond it to the source of the belief that you are incomplete. Only if you had sinned could this be so. For sin is the idea you are alone and separated off from what is whole. And thus it would be necessary for the search for wholeness to be made beyond the boundaries of limits on yourself. 41. It never is the idol that you want, but what you think it offers you. You want indeed and have the right to ask for, nor could it be possible it be denied. Your will is to be complete. Your will to be complete is but God's will, and this is given you by being His. God knows not form. He cannot answer you in terms which have no meaning, and your will could not be satisfied with empty forms made but to fill a gap which is not there. It is not this you want. Creation gives no separate person and no separate thing the power to complete the Son of God. What idol can be called upon to give the Son of God what He already has? And we'll stop on this next paragraph, 42. Completion is the function of God's Son. He has no need to seek for it at all. Beyond all idols stands His holy will to be but what He is. For more than whole is meaningless. If there were change in Him, if He could be reduced to any form and limited to what is not in Him, He would not be as God created Him. What idol can He need to be Himself? For can He give a part of Him away? What is not whole cannot make whole. But what is really asked for cannot be denied. Your will is granted, not in any form that would content you not, but in the whole, completely lovely thought God holds of you. Okay, and we'll pick up there tomorrow. Let's go back and look at our lesson once again. The past is over. It can touch me not. Unless the past is over in my mind, the real world must escape my sight. For I am really looking nowhere, seeing but what is not there. For I am really looking nowhere, seeing but what is not there. How can I then perceive the world forgiveness offers? This the past was made to hide, for this the world that can be looked upon. For thus, how can I then perceive the world forgiveness offers? This the past was made to hide, for this the world that can be looked on only now. It has no past, for what can be forgiven but the past? And if it is forgiven, it is gone. And the prayer, Father, let me not look upon a past that is not there, for you have offered me your own replacement in a present world the past has left untouched and free of sin. Here is the end of guilt, and here am I made ready for your final step. Shall I demand that you wait longer for your Son to find the loveliness He planned to be the end of all His dreams and all His pain? The past is over. It can touch me not. Be sure to do your longer practice period, morning and evening, and your hourly remembrance and thanksgiving. Today saying, the past is over. It can touch me not. The past is over. the truth. He must bridge the gap between reality and dreams. Perception leads to knowledge through the grace that God has given him, to be his gift to everyone who turns to him for truth, to be dispelled before the light of knowledge. There are sights and sounds forever laid aside, and where they were perceived before, forgiveness has made possible perceptions tranquil end. Forgiveness has made possible perceptions tranquil end. Forgiveness has made possible perceptions tranquil end. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. And let's do the rules for happiness. Rules for a happy day. Today I will make no decisions by myself. If I make no decisions by myself, this is the day that will be given me. I have, and if you get upset, say, I have no questions. I forgot what to decide. At least I can decide. I do not like what I feel now. And so I hope I have been wrong. I want another way to look at this. Perhaps there is another way to look at this. What can I lose by asking? Nothing. What can I lose by asking? What can I lose by asking? Be sure to visualize the day, and that's the kind of day you're going to have. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. The past is over, it can touch me not. Let's stay in the present moment where love is, where you are, where your present will is. The past is over, it can touch me not. Have a happy day. The past is over, it can touch me not.